Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaur Premanandi. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, the Vastu is not good. We have to change it. So, you want to take the harmonium? What we want to do is, we want to get, the back people are too far, I can't see you. We want to get on more seats over here on the side, so kind of make like a semicircle. And I can't stand sitting up here, I feel so weird. So if we can move this back, I'll sit down here. That's possible? It's not that heavy or what?
Stage one?
So we have to move it back a little.
That's okay. We'll just move the chair.
So, yeah, you can come all the way over here.
Which table would we need? Only one? Okay.
I only need one. This is both. That's for the harmonium, not for my computer. Ah, okay, much better. Hare Krishna. I don't know. Just wait a second. I'll let you know. Yeah, in a second. Wait a second. I'm completely in control. I do this all the time. I just have to, everything has to like be right. Then we'll do it. Okay. I hate introductions. So I gave him a short introduction. No. Say it in Hindi so I don't have to understand it. You know, it's actually better that the speaker does an introduction, and I'll explain why. For those of you who are speakers, because there's nothing in that introduction that says anything directly about my qualification to teach this workshop. It just tells my history, when I was initiated, where the services I did. It says nothing about this. So he's going to read it, and then I'm going to give the actual introduction after he gives that. Okay?
Hare Krishna. Whatever you're comfortable with, Mahatma Prabhu. If you want, you can take the... You want to know a little bit about it? Okay, wonderful.
It's not much. I edited it down. All right, he'll edit it up.
I edited it slightly,
Okay.
Mahatma Prabhu, but it's really nice. So welcome everyone to this historic 2.5-day Japa workshop. We're very fortunate to have His Grace Mahatma Prabhu with us. But before we get into introductions and a little bit about the workshop, I wanted to give some pointers on the logistics and housekeeping. So firstly, we're trying to create a sacred space here. So please keep your cell phones off. If not able to do so, at least in silent mode. Washrooms are downstairs from the double doors as you see outside the archway. The schedule, we have 2.5 days. Today we're getting the ball rolling. The workshop will wrap up around 9 p.m. followed by takeout prasadam. Tomorrow, Saturday, October 4th, we're starting the workshop promptly at 10 a.m. and we will wrap up by 6 p.m. And Sunday, October 5th, the final day of the workshop will start at 10 a.m. and we will conclude the workshop at 4 p.m.
And you're thinking, how can I sit here all day? It's going to be torture. Don't worry. By the time it's 6 o'clock, you'll say, where did the time go? I'm not going to be lecturing the whole time. We're going to be chanting, we're going to be reflecting, discussing.
For those who have previously attended the workshop, they have mentioned that it is life transforming. It is life transforming.
Oh yeah.
So
at least Japa transforming,
Japa
and that will
transforming.
transform your life if you transform your Japa.
That's right. So during this workshop, we'll gain various insights on how to improve our Japa, deepen the intimacy with the holy name, overcome inner obstacles, and integrate chanting into our daily lives. But now about our esteemed guest, His Grace Mahatma Prabhu. So Mahatma Prabhu's journey began in 1969 when at the age of 19 he personally met Srila Prabhupada in Los Angeles. And in 1970 he received initiation from Srila Prabhupada. Since then Mahatma Prabhu has rendered numerous services in ISKCON, and this is his words, rendering from bathroom cleaner to cook to book distributor, Sankirtan leader, and even temple president. His heart has always been...
4 times. Temple president. The 4th time I made a vow, I'll never be temple president again. And I've kept that vow.
That was in Mauritius?
Yeah, that was the last place.
Mauritius,
Yeah. I made the vow in Mauritius. And I've kept it since 1992.
So his heart has always been to serve where needed. And over the decades, this has evolved into a primary focus on teaching and writing, especially on topics most relevant to devotees' spiritual lives. About 20 years ago, he formed a company known as Sattva to channel his energy into seminars, retreats, online courses, social media, and books for both devotees and the wider public. He travels up to 6 months a year, sharing Krishna consciousness in places such as Mexico, South America, South Africa, Mauritius, Australia, India, Europe, and China.
And Canada.
And Canada now. Haribo!
Yeah.
We want this to become an annual stop for Mahatma Prabhu.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what Krishna has in store and what my wife says.
Yes. Since the COVID lockdown, he's been based in Alachua, Florida, where he resides with his wife, Japa Mataji, who we're very much missing here today, and his daughter, Shama Mandali. So he began accepting disciples in 2013 and continues to guide them with compassion and clarity. Mahatma Prabhu is also well known in ISKCON for his devotional music, most notably the recording of his Brahma Samhita, which continues to inspire devotees around the world. And just a few years ago, you released the second rendition, an updated rendition of the Brahma Samhita. Both are available on his YouTube channel. So it is our great honor and my great fortune to welcome His Grace Mahatma Prabhu. So let's please, and because it is a Japa workshop, let's welcome him with the one full Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everyone together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Over to you.
So what is not in the bio is that I lived in Toronto in 1972 from March till June. on Girard Street. Yeah. And I got pneumonia because I'm from Los Angeles. And I decided, bye-bye Canada, it's too cold. I was the temple president of Vancouver for about a year and a half. That was the first time in my life I saw snow. And about 14, 15, 16 years ago, we did a workshop here on forgiveness. I can't remember the exact date. I don't know if any of you were at that workshop. Any of you were here 15 years ago? No. Anybody remember? I might have done a Japa workshop then, but so I've been teaching about Japa for about 20 years, and what I've done, not that I was consciously doing it, but by teaching it, I came to understand more precisely what makes a difference in chanting. So the purpose of this workshop is not to give you a lot of information. The purpose of the workshop is to permanently damage your bad japa. To make it, my ultimate goal is to try to make it impossible for you to chant bad japa ever again. That's my intention. So, you can take notes, but the real thing is to embody what we're teaching within you so that the way you approach japa is going to be different, better than the way it is now. And that's basically all I'm trying to do, is kind of change your attitudes towards japa. So change the way you see it. It's like when you have a marital problem, a lot of what the counselor does is help you see your partner in a better light, because you may be very critical and negative and so on, and they'll say, well, what's something you like about your partner? And what did you like when you were first together? And, they're changing your vision, because a certain vision is, ugh. And if we change that vision, then japa becomes easier, becomes more important, you do it better. And basically what I'm going to do, I think, for most of you is how should I say, what's the word? I'm going to, what? Reinvent, maybe. I'm going to, that also. I'm going to change the way you see it. Like I'm going to alter your vision of japa. It's like that's what I want to say. It sounds like I'm proud, and I am, but I'm not trying to be. I'm going to help you alter your vision of japa so that you're going to hopefully see japa in a different way, in a way you've never thought about it, or maybe you thought about it, but you didn't embody it, and awaken you. And just my experience from doing this, many people say, well, I don't even know I was supposed to chant like that. Nobody told me. And today I was listening, I was doing some study, and I was thinking, there's so many things in our philosophy we don't get. It's like it's just kind of floating here, but it's not coming into our life, we're not becoming it. And so we hear a lot of things about japa, but unless we embody it deeply, it doesn't resonate deeply, and it doesn't change us. So now we're going to do something extremely depressing. Not for everybody, but maybe for some of you. Yeah. Well, it'll be depressing for everyone when we get the results. I would like you to grade yourself on your japa, and I'll tell you how to score yourself. 5 is not good, and 5 is not bad. 5.9 or 5.1 or above is good. 4.9 or below is bad. 1 is really bad. 10 is really good. If you're at 10, you're probably chanting 192 rounds. And if you're at 1, you're struggling to chant 1. And you probably put your bead bag down before you finish the first one. If you're at 5, it's like you finish your rounds and I say, how were they? And you're like, If you're below 5, it's how were your rounds? Not so good. Above 5, how were your rounds? Pretty good. And so, look at it this way. You can be thinking about that number. It's not, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. It's not, you're not going to have to tell anybody this number. I mean, you could if you want. You don't have to. It's just for you. So I'm going to keep talking a little bit so you can kind of understand. If I ask you, if the way you chant, or been chanting your rounds, let's say the last 6 months, if you continue chanting like that every day, will that be good? Or bad? Or really bad? Or really good? So that's how you give yourself a score. Like, when you finish your rounds, do you feel like this, if I chant like this every day, I'm going back to God in this lifetime, I'm going to end up loving Krishna, I will be so attracted to Krishna in devotional service and so detached and pure? Or is it like, I'm not sure. So that's how you score yourself. And this is just for you to analyze. Now here comes the depressing part. We're going to do a survey. I've done this survey like 50 times. I already know the results. You're a random sample that will be the same. I would like everyone to close their eyes because I'm going to ask you your score and I don't want you to be embarrassed. So can you all close your eyes so you won't see anybody? Close your eyes, please. So raise your hand if you're out of 5, like right in the middle, out of 5. Okay. Raise your hand if you're below 5. Okay. Raise your hand if you're above 5. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Okay, you can open your eyes. So I have to do some math in my head. I would say we're at like, yeah, maybe 80% below 5 and then 12% at 5 and 10%, 8% above 5. So why I said this is depressing is because chanting Hare Krishna is the most important activity in our lives. It's the most important activity in this age. It's the most important activity in Kali Yuga. And it just shows how difficult it is to chant well, doesn't it? And this is, you're just on par with the average. The average devotee in the Hare Krishna movement, chanting is below average, below par. That's sad, isn't it? What does that mean? Does that mean, one thing it means is definitely is Kali Yuga, that it's not, it's not like we just sit down, 64 rounds, get up at 2 a.m. and then go to work at 10 o'clock. That's not what we do. It's a struggle. So, one thing that's really good to do is when you chant, every once in a while, just check in and ask yourself, what's my number? Because it should be 5.1. 5.1 isn't that great. It's just not bad. 5.1 is the first step of not being bad. But you really want to be about 6, which was, I say, is the beginning of good. Right? If it's worth doing something, it's worth doing it well. So this is really important. Okay, so you won't remain depressed forever, don't worry. We're going to change that number. We're going to work on changing the number. To change that number, we have to enter into more deeply what is chanting. What is it? And fundamentally, chanting is a prayer. And chanting is worship. So, this is really important. Because when you pray and you do puja, there is a consciousness with which you do it. When you go on the altar, you say prayers before you go on the altar. For those of you who don't do puja, at least in the temple, there are prayers we say to prepare ourselves to go on the altar. Because we're going in Krishna's room. That's not, you just don't go in Krishna's room. Just jump, Haribol, Krishna, you don't do that. You prepare yourself. when you go in the temple to pray, it's not the same consciousness you're in during the day, right? Prayer consciousness is different, right? Puja consciousness is different. Now I'm going to do something really funny, and you will get the point. Can I borrow someone's phone? Okay. Tell me what you think of this. Prabhu, can I call you back later because I'm busy? Yeah, I'm doing puja right now. It's hard to concentrate if I'm talking to you. I know it's important, but I think it would be better if we could talk later. What do you think? Okay. Is that weird? Have you ever seen anyone do that? Have you ever seen anyone do this? Oh, yeah. And you know, so many people who visit here, they come in the temple, and they're like this. They're really, really, they're in a different space when they come in, isn't it? Devotees come in, it's like, what time's prasadam, But people from outside, they come in, and they're I'm in the temple of God, right? Isn't it? And they're in a different consciousness. They walk out, whatever. What's the hockey score in the hockey game. But when they're in here, they're in a certain state, right? So now, you have probably seen this one. No, it's okay. They don't have to. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Have you seen that one before? Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We've never seen a pujari do that. We've never seen someone on the altar do it. In fact, you don't do it in your home, I hope. I don't, for most people, don't do it, or 99% of the time when they're doing puja, they don't have their phone on except to play bhajan, right? Why? Because it's a certain consciousness you're in. And that consciousness is the consciousness of worship and the consciousness of prayer. If you just do these, if you just, when you chanted, did these two things, that's all you did, was go into prayer mode and pray and worship, your japa would go through the roof. If you could just do this, you don't have to come back tomorrow or the next day, because you've got it. If you could just embody this deeply, it would be impossible to chant bad japa. You couldn't possibly do it. And I'll give you an example. There are certain states of consciousness that you're in that make it impossible to be in negative states. Well, let me explain. We do a forgiveness workshop, and one of the exercises is your partner plays the role of the person you're trying to forgive, and then you're asked to appreciate them, say good things about them, which is difficult, because all you can think of is how this person has hurt me, and it could be for 5, 10, 20 years, 30 years. So people are reluctant to do it. I say, just do it, you'll see what happens. And so they look for something good, and they start speaking. And then I ask them, how did you feel? And they said, I felt different. And the basic thing is, you can't hate someone and appreciate them at the same time. Because the consciousness of appreciation does not allow for hatred. You can't hate and appreciate. If I said hate them, there's no room for appreciation. If I say appreciate them, there's no room for hatred. So in prayer consciousness, there's no room for distraction, spacing out. Because we don't do it when we're in the temple praying, and in worship consciousness, there's no room for spacing out distraction. When is there room for distraction? When we don't take the holy name as an object of worship, as an object of puja, and we don't take the holy name as prayer. Which is really interesting, and I'll explain why I think it's so interesting. Probably you've all heard Prabhupada say, chanting the holy name is like a child crying for its mother. How many of you have heard that before? It's like most of us. Prabhupada said, chanting is a prayer like a child crying for its mother, and then he said, It's in the form of Hare. Hare is like Radhe. O Radha. That's what Radhe means. Radha is her name. Radhe is O Radha. Hare, O Radha. It's a prayer, O Radha. So, Prabhupada has given the translation, O Radha, O Krishna, please engage me in your service. It's a prayer. I am serving everything other than you, and that's why I'm in the material world. And I want to purify myself, so I'm praying for you to give me the consciousness, the mood, the desire to serve you. It's a prayer. Yes? That's what we're doing. We're praying. Okay. We're praying. We're worshiping. Okay. How are we worshiping the holy name? This is really interesting. I just want you to embody this. Somehow you got to get this into your body so deeply that you won't know how to chant bad japa. It'll be impossible. That's the goal. Like, Prabhu, when was the last time you chanted bad japa? Oh, I think it was back in 2025, and now we're in like 2080. I don't know, I can't remember. What is bad japa? Remind me. Yeah, okay. Listen to this idea. It is really interesting. I was on a japa walk in Vrindavan like 6 years ago. And as I was walking, I was thinking, oh, this is interesting. I always would think when I chant japa, I'm walking with Krishna. Like we're going on a japa walk. I calculated I've taken in my life close to 15,000 japa walks with Krishna. I haven't taken that many walks with anybody. 15,000 with Krishna. So I was chanting, I was thinking, oh, Krishna is his name. Krishna is a sound incarnation. Oh, I have a deity of Krishna walking with me, the Shabda, the sound incarnation, the form of the holy name. He's walking with me. So, and everyone else walking with me has their own deity. So when you say Hare Krishna, you just made a deity out of sound. And if we're all sitting here chanting Hare Krishna, we all have our own Radha and Krishna, right? It's not, your Radha and Krishna is not mine, that's yours, the one you're making. In fact, Prabhupada said, when you chant, why are you playing my recording? You should be hearing yourself, not me. Because you should be focused on the Krishna that you're calling, that you're making. And someone's chanting loudly. He said, no, you have to hear yourself. You know, when someone chants loudly, you hear them. You know, you have to hear yourself. Loud chanters can go outside. So, we're creating a deity when we're chanting. Krishna's there. Isn't that amazing? You have your own deity, right? Wow. You can all say, wow. I have my own deity when I chant. That deity is appearing to me. That's why, if that deity is appearing to you, what are you supposed to do now? Check your phone? You know the joke? Yadunath's a comedian. He said, you know, ever since I became a devotee, my left arm got really strong. You know, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Cook the sweet rice on Sunday. Hare Ram, cleaning, and you know. My dear devotees, here's the funny one. I'm in a car and some devotee's driving, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, and then there's GPS. I say, Prabhu, would you put your deities, like glue tack your deities on the counter and do arti while you're driving? Of course not. So why are you chanting? Because there's a deity there that you should be worshiping, you should be honoring, you should be praying to. That's japa. In case you didn't know, that's japa. Everything else, I don't know what it is. It just looks like japa, but it's not. That's so important to understand, because if you want to chant japa well, you have to clearly understand what it is, and you have to clearly understand what it isn't. So when you're deviating away from it, you catch yourself and go, oh, that is not japa. Like sometimes say, devotees say, Prabhu, when I chant japa, my mind is all over, everywhere. I say, oh, that's not japa. You're not chanting japa. It just looks like it. So, what is the problem we all have? One of the biggest obstacles is we think if I just chant my prescribed number, whatever your number is, if I just chant that, it's good, I've done it. No. 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 Could you imagine a temple that had 16 broken mridangas? And every mridanga you hit sounded like this chair. It was like useless, right? And you go around boasting, our temple in Toronto has 16 mridangas. We have more mridangas than any temple. It's like, big deal, they're all broken. Like, so I chant 16 rounds a day. Yeah, okay. Here's something really interesting. And this is for deep reflection. If you have difficulty in Krishna consciousness, like some persistent anartha, some very strong attachment, and you just can't let it go. You know why? It's because you've got 16 broken mridangas. If you chant properly, you might have problems, because we all have problems, but they won't be big problems. I can guarantee you. I mean, you might have, psychological issues or some addiction. That's a different thing. But generally, the general obstacles to spiritual life, like intense anger, intense greed, intense lust, all these things, if we chant well, they go down, relative to where you started. So this is really important, because have you ever felt like, I don't know when I'm going to be Krishna conscious, because I've been chanting so long and still I have blank. That means, according to Bhakti Siddhanta, we're chanting a shadow of a name. It's not the real name. Would you like some pakors? They're on the wall there. There's the shadow on the wall. Would you like one? I don't think so. So this is important to understand, because this is the problem right here. We think if I do the number, it's good. You know where that comes from? It comes from a ritualistic approach to bhakti. Because bhakti, if the number is important, why did, if what you're doing externally is so important, why did Krishna say, offer me a fruit, leaf, flower, or water? Those are not important things. What did he stress? Bhakti. Offer me with love. That's what's important, right? So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, if you do not chant properly, you could chant 100 rounds. If you're making offenses, you could chant 100 rounds and you won't make any advancement, because you're not actually chanting. It's like a shadow. It's not the real name. And that's why when Prabhupada initiated it, I guess we're having the initiation lecture now. That's why we have initiation Sunday morning, but I guess this is the lecture. That's why at initiation, what did Prabhupada do? He said, you must recite the 10 offenses. Why? Because I'm giving you the holy name, and if you don't avoid the 10 offenses, the holy name will not be powerful. Not powerful enough to help you become Krishna conscious in this life. Now, Prabhupada multiple times said, if you chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 principles, you will go back to Godhead in this life. And every time he said it, the devotee said, no way. And Prabhupada said, he didn't say yes way, but Prabhupada said yes. But Prabhupada, how could it be? What else? We must be a... But what? And Prabhupada said, no, if you chant 16 rounds, 4 principles, I'll take you back to Godhead. What did he mean? He meant 16 rounds chanted properly. Param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan. What does that mean? The holy name is victorious. What does that mean? There's no maya that you're in, the holy name can't conquer. There's no anartha you have, the holy name can't help you overcome. That's what it means. If you don't feel like that, the chanting has to improve. Because if you chant properly, you will feel unconquerable. Because the holy name is unconquerable. You will feel victorious. And that's why Prabhupada said, if you chant 16 rounds, you can go back to Godhead in this lifetime. It's that powerful. So, here's the problem. If you're not able to access that level of chanting, you'll never have faith that it's that powerful because you never experienced it. Yes? Does that make sense? How can you say it's so powerful? I've never experienced it. Probably a shadow of the holy name, not chanted properly. So, Krishna is in his name. We have a personal deity. He's with us when we're chanting. You've heard that before, right? It's a whole lot different to realize it than it is to hear it. Because if we actually realized it, we could not chant in a distracted way because we would be realizing Krishna's there. Just as when you worship the deity. You're not distracted. Krishna's right there. Yes? Krishna is his name. He's not in his name, he is his name. When we are chanting Krishna's there, we should be conscious of that, and we should be in prayer mode to pray to that Krishna who appears on our tongue. What do you pray for? Anything you want, as long as it's not material. To pray for something material is an offense to the holy name. You want to pray. What do you want to pray for? What should we pray for? What's in your heart? What do you need? I think it's when I'm chanting and I'm conscious that Krishna's there, my first thought is, oh, this is good. Krishna's here. My mind is focused on him. Now I can ask him whatever I want. It's like, Krishna came to your house. And it's like, wow, thanks for coming. I wanted to ask you something. Now you're here. I can ask you. Could you pull this out of my heart? Could you empower me to do this? Can you help me become fearless? Can you help me love you? So many things. So when you're focused and you're chanting Krishna's in his name, then you can think, now I have a chance to ask Krishna to help me with my bhakti. Do you think Krishna will help you with your bhakti? Of course. Only 3 people think that. Do you think Krishna will help you with your bhakti? Yes. Of course. Do you need help with your bhakti? Yes. Of course. Is it a loss if we space out when we chant and we don't even ask Krishna for help? Then how difficult is it going to be Krishna conscious when the very process that enables you to become Krishna conscious is not done well? I've got 16 mridangas and none of them work. Hare Krishna. Have I made you feel bad yet? We start by making you feel bad. That's my strategy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said we should feel remorseful for having chanted bad rounds. Wow. Interesting. What does he mean by that? When we don't chant well, it's called aparad. Aparad means offense. In Vaishnava theology, the goal of every devotee is what? To get mercy of their guru, to get mercy of Mahaprabhu Nityananda, mercy of the deities. That's the goal, isn't it? Oh, Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroi Dasi. Give me a drop of mercy. I am your servant. So many prayers. Give me mercy. You see a sadhu. Maharaj, give me your mercy. Yes? Because we know mercy does magic. With mercy I can do what I could never do on my own. I need mercy. I'm weak. I can't do this. I have so many faults. Oh Gurudev, help me overcome these faults. Yes? I think everyone from India knows that well. Every time you see a sadhu, you ask for mercy. That's natural. You were raised that way. What is mercy? What does it mean? You have effort and you have mercy. Krishna is up here. This is prema. We're down here somewhere. And by our best efforts, we'll get about here. So we got a long way to go. How are we going to get from here to here? You try. You're going to hit a ceiling after a while. We're conditioned souls. How do you get here? Mercy. It's the elevator. You get on the elevator, it takes you up. It's too high to climb. The mercy is coming from the sadhus. The mercy is coming from the holy name. It's coming from the deity. It's coming from the Dham. What is aparad? Aparad is cutting off the mercy. So I'm down here, the mercy's here. I make a fence, I'm stuck here. I can't go beyond that ceiling. And if I make a big aparad to Vaishnava, I go down. I go down into the basement. I won't even stay in the same place. So, aparad is the opposite of mercy. We need mercy. Turn to the person next to you and tell them, I need mercy. Turn to the person next to you and tell them, you need mercy. Yeah. Yes. There is so much mercy coming from the holy name. It's a disaster if we're chanting some shadow of a name and we're not getting the mercy. And we're spending hours a day chanting and we just think, oh, if I chant 16 rounds, bingo, jackpot. It's a very ritualistic approach to the holy name, don't you think? That's religion. Bhakti is not religion. That form of religion is, you do the ritual, then it's bingo. You get results. You go to the church, temple, mosque, do your thing, do it right, offer it right, bingo, benefit. Bhakti is not like that. You don't purchase Krishna with a ritual. You purchase Krishna with devotion. So if you think, I will chant 16 rounds more or less without real focus and devotion and worship and consciousness that Krishna is there and prayer and all that we're talking about, and I will make advancement, no. It just becomes a ritual. And we all know Krishna wants our bhakti. That's what he wants. That's what he cares about. He doesn't care about how many rounds you chant. One time, a devotee, a foolish devotee who was a former disciple of Prabhupada, went to Radha Kund and they told him in Radha Kund, you have to chant 64 rounds, otherwise you can't be Krishna conscious. And he wrote a letter to Prabhupada, said, my dear Srila Prabhupada, you have to chant 64 rounds a day or otherwise you can't be Krishna conscious. And Prabhupada said, you cannot force Krishna to give you love. It's not like that. By a certain number or ritual. It's not a bingo process. You know, if I just chant enough, it's like I'm playing the slot machines, I'm bound to win. It's not like that. So Krishna says, Patra pushpam palam toyam, leaf, flower, fruit, or water. So, I say leaf, flower, fruit, or water, and nama. Also, offer me the name. It's the same thing. Why stop with those four things? That's just an idea. If you don't have any money, you can offer these four. It doesn't stop there. Offer him a temple. Offer him your house. You know, offer him so many things. Offer him clothes. Whatever you want. But offer him a name. So if you put the name in that verse, then it makes sense, right? Offer me the name. How do you offer the name? Bhaktuparitam. Saturated with love. If we are meant to offer Krishna a leaf, fruit, flower, water, or anything with love, why would it stop when you chant? Just because you have a number. You know. How was the arti today, Prabhu? I did the circles really well. Counted them exactly, did it in the exact time, stood in the right way, rang the bell in the right way, did the water in my hand, the achman. It was a grand success. Did you think of Krishna? No, I was thinking how everyone was looking at me and thinking how cool I am. The way I do the fan, that is so cool. You know? Yeah, and Krishna's looking at you, go, give me a break. You know, I don't want your flamboyancy. I don't want your showiness. I want your devotion, that's all. You know, Krishna is composed of love. That's what he's made of, and that's all he wants. And, you know, Krishna loves us even if we don't love him, because he doesn't know how not to love us. But he really wants us to love him back. And this is so important to understand. Why are we chanting? Well, we're chanting so we can love Krishna back. He likes to hear his name. But more importantly, it's because it awakens love, and that's what he wants. He's like, why do you go to school? Your father wants you to get an MBA so you can run his business. Why does Krishna want you to chant Hare Krishna? So you can love him and go back to Godhead. So you can get through the gates, because you can't get it if you don't have love. So, and why does he want your love? Because that's what he is. He's just love. That's what he wants. He thrives on it. That's who he is. Rasa by sa. That's Krishna. Love. He exists with love, right? It's really important to remember. This is all Krishna wants. If all Krishna wants is love, he doesn't want your 16 schnick-schnicks, wom-woms. He doesn't want your 16 distracted mantras with no feel. Sometimes devotees say, Prabhu ji, when I chant, I don't feel anything. Not good. The Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has appeared on your tongue and you don't feel anything? I don't think he's appeared. Think about it. How could you not feel anything if Krishna appears? That would be like impossible, wouldn't it? Yeah, if you told me, Prabhu, I had a dream last night of Krishna. How was it? And you said, I didn't feel anything. You think like, huh? You had a dream? Are you sure that was Krishna? Oh yeah, that was Krishna. You didn't feel anything? You ever had a dream of Krishna or Prabhupada or your guru? You feel something, don't you? It's like, wow. You wake up like blissful. So, if Krishna is in his name and I feel nothing, he is in his name as a tattva. That doesn't mean you have any appreciation of it. The deity, Krishna is the deity. You may not see that. It doesn't mean he's not there. It doesn't mean Krishna is not in his name because we don't experience it. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. So, if we're chanting and we're not feeling, that means we're not chanting properly. Because if we chant properly, you will feel. But another point is, you have to put feeling into it. So if you say, I don't feel anything, hello, Prabhu. You ever think about putting feeling into it because you don't feel anything? I mean, you know, it's kind of a self-disclosure to say, when I chant, I don't feel anything. That means I don't put any feeling into it. I'm just chanting to get it done. How come you're chanting? I made a vow. It's like, you know, those marriages where the husband and wife don't talk to one another. They haven't, you know, they tell their kids, tell your mother I'm hungry. You know? It's like, so, you know, congratulations, you didn't get divorced. So it's something like that. It's like, congratulations, you chanted 16 bad rounds your whole life. I mean, I think that's admirable that you kept your vow. You just didn't get the benefit of chanting. You got the benefit of keeping your vow. So here's my little joke. You know why you're at this Japa retreat? Because last life you went to a Japa retreat and you didn't apply it. So you had to come back. So now, whatever I'm saying, just get it deeply inside of you. I'm only describing to you what all the acharyas have described, what all my God brothers experience when they chant, when anyone who's been around, who's elevated their chanting, understands. And the problem I think we're all aware of is that when you do kirtan, there's so much emotion in kirtan and there's so much support from the audience that it's just so beautiful, right? You don't have to do anything. It's there. You feel ecstatic, you want to dance. It's a social environment. And then so many devotees will say, I love kirtan, but I don't like japa. Have you heard that one before? I love kirtan, but I don't like japa. Yeah. Of course, my sarcastic joke is, Prabhuji, it's the same mantra in case you didn't notice. Right? The thing is, it takes effort in japa because it's much easier to space out when you chant japa, isn't it? Because we don't realize Krishna's in His name. We have to make an effort to realize it, to open our heart. We have to be conscious. We have to be trying to do all these things. And then He reciprocates. But in Kirtan, it's just like, it's so easy to open up. But the difference is, I think a lot of you don't understand how special japa is because you never had it really a good japa. But what japa is, it's personal and private. So you're in the kirtan, it's all ecstatic, and Krishna goes, "Shh, you want to go up to my room and talk?" What would you say? "No, I like the kirtan, it's nice." No, he's like, "Wow, that's different. We can go alone and talk." So every morning you can be with Krishna. If you focus, if you remind yourself, "Krishna, you're in your name. I want to approach you in your name. I want to honor you in your name." If you remind yourself, and you go into prayer mode, and you stay in that consciousness, and when you get out of it, you go back into it, you remind yourself, you'll have amazing experiences. Guaranteed. Amazing. Just one-on-one. Okay. I'm not finished with you yet. I still have to harass you a little more. This is all foundational to what we're going to be doing this weekend. But, tomorrow morning you have homework. And your homework is to apply everything you're learning tonight in your japa, to make an effort to chant amazing japa, like off the charts, better than ever. That's your homework for tomorrow. So the reason we start on Friday night is so that you can chant good japa. Because if I don't do this on Friday night, Saturday morning you'll come in the same japa you've always chanted. But now you hopefully will come in at least with an effort and some experience, maybe some better, some worse. And I just want to make a disclaimer. Whatever I'm saying, it's not like absolute, you have to do it. You just take it on board and see what resonates with you. Because one thing I said might be enough. You go, wow, that just hit me. And everything else is like, I don't need it. This one includes everything. So here's another one. We've got Krishna's in His name, and I believe, oh, this is really interesting. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, if there's an offense called inattention, which basically means lethargy, distraction, and apathy. You know, should we demonstrate inattention? You've seen it before. I like to act. Here's my big chance. I like Sankirtan because I used to act on it. But this is what lethargy looks like. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The mother says to her kid, her 10-year-old boy, "Can you clean up your room?" And he said, "Do I have to?" Did you ever chant like that, 10-year-old boy? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That's apathy, isn't it? And then distractions. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Of course, you get out your phone. Worst enemy to japa is your phone. You should be on the roof while you chant. They have a box, you know, it's got a timer, you can lock, the box locks. You can't open it until the timer's in. Just put your phone in, get a box, put your phone in. Your japa immediately go up 50% just by that, right? Lethargy. Prasadam. Yeah. Lethargy, apathy, and distraction. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said this is called inattention. And this inattention is the cause of all the other offenses. Wow. When I first heard that, I said, how is that? And then I realized, if Krishna's in His name, and you're conscious that Krishna's in His name, how could you be inattentive? And if you're not conscious, like in this example, did I look like I was conscious that Krishna is in his name? No way. I didn't, did I? Isn't that interesting? If I am just conscious that Krishna is not in his name, Krishna is his name. If I'm just conscious that Krishna is his name, if I'm reminding myself, Krishna, you are here. I don't even realize you're here, but I'm reminding myself, Prabhupada said you're here. And I practice chanting, respecting you, that you're present here. I honor you, I worship your name. I pray to you in your name. I just keep reminding myself. You know what happens after a while? You program that in as a default. That's just how you chant. Because right now we all have a default. And if that default isn't good, that's a problem. Right? Yeah, I'm going to prove it to you. Pretend I'm like a robot. Like if you do something every day, you become like a robot. So every morning, when you chant, you put your hands on your beads. Right? And something happens when you touch those beads, and you may not be aware of it, but there's an energy shift in your body. Either up or down. And if you don't like to chant, there'll be a negative energy. Your energy in your body will go down. And your mind will start saying things, consciously or subconsciously, kind of like, complaining. Like a little kid has to eat his spinach and he doesn't like it. Your mind's going to do that. Yes? One time I was chanting and my rounds were so bad the day before, I put my hand in my bead and it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that again. It's like, oh no, I have to go through this. I have to control my mind for 2 hours. Oh no, this is horrible. Why would you want to do that to yourself? That's what happens when you impregnate bad japa. You get it so in your system, you don't even know how to chant good japa anymore. So you just put your hand in your bag, you know, looking at your watch. When's it over? When's it going to be over? You know, it's like, and Krishna's like, thanks a lot. You don't like me? You don't like hanging with me? Like your mind is like, when's it going to be over? When can I get back on my TikTok? You know, eat a sweet bowl. You know, yes. Imagine Krishna was with you. It's like, what's wrong with you? Like, what did I ever do to hurt you? You know, what's wrong with my name? We make this mistake. Krishna is there in his name. He's a person. We think japa is a process. It's not a person. Japa is a relationship. It's you chanting the name of God. Krishna's there, you're there. When two people are together, it's a relationship. What is that relationship based on? Your affection, your love, all these things. When we forget that, then we look at our watch. How many more rounds do I have? When's it going to be over? What's for breakfast? What do I have to do today? You ever think about what you have to do today? Okay, the ladies, you're going to get this one because you have so much experience of this. You're talking to your husband and he's not listening. Yes or yes? You ever had that experience? Yes, many times, right? I know because I'm the husband and I do it. Yeah. Less now than when I was younger. How does it feel? Feel like you're being ignored. Okay. Now, we're chanting Hare Krishna and ignoring Krishna. How does he feel? We think, oh, he's dancing with the gopis, he doesn't feel anything. No, he does. Krishna's there, you're calling him, and then you're turning your back on him. If you are sensitive enough to appreciate that Krishna has feelings, and you're calling him, and there's a relationship, that's going to make a huge difference. Otherwise, if you go back to, this is just a process, then process is just get it done. Right? That's all you have to do. It's just a process. And bingo. So remember this. If anyone asks you, what did you learn tonight in the class? You said, japa is not bingo. That's what you learn. Japa is not a bingo. It's a patra pushpam palam toyam nama. It's offering the name with love. It's a relationship. It's a person that I'm connecting with. And it's so beautiful when you're conscious of that. It's amazing. It's a completely different experience. So, another important aspect is appreciation of the holy name. You know, most of us know the history of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya coming, Lord Chaitanya came because he saw that people were not taking his advice when he came as Krishna, and he wanted to give them something. And so the holy name is there in the Shastra, but he wanted to make it more powerful. So he decided, we're going to add some ingredients to the holy name. We take the Hare Krishna mantra, we're going to mix it up with a little prema, a little Braj Bhakti. You know, this is Kali Yuga. These people with the ordinary holy name, they're not going to get it. We need something more. This disease, they're in like 12th stage cancer. You know, they're really bad. We need something powerful. So he mixes prema into it, and so that anybody who chants the holy name can get prema. And all you have to do is chant. You don't have to do some big austerity. 4 Rigata principles, which historically was just considered moral activity that everybody did, not like a big thing, right? You just do that. You get the holy name, you chant it, and you will get love of Krishna. You know how hard it is to get love of Krishna in the mood of the gopis? It is pretty much impossible. But Mahaprabhu comes in Kali Yuga. And in one lifetime, if I take the holy name properly, I can go back into Krishna Lila. That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, one lifetime is not long. How long have we been in the material world? A long time. Yes? So imagine forever, if you can. Try to imagine forever. Now, we could be at the end of forever in this material world. Like we've been here so long in so many bodies and suffered so much. And we are on the cusp. Mahaprabhu said, okay, well, Prabhupada said, okay, 16 rounds, 1 lifetime, 4 principles. You could actually be dancing with Krishna 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years after unlimited lives in the material world. That's amazing. And not only is it amazing, but you'll go right to Krishna Lila in Vrindavan. That's crazy, isn't it? So that's the gift of Mahaprabhu. You don't have to be a Brahmin. You don't have to be anything. It doesn't matter what you've done, where you've been, where you're coming from. We will give you the holy name. If you take it properly, try to avoid the fences, try to follow principles, you can get love of Godhead in this lifetime. Turn to the person next to you and say, Prabhu, that's amazing. So, I have a story. It's a beautiful story. Would you like to hear it? Some of you know I had an operation exactly like 12 months and 1 week ago. This was, on October 5th I got out of rehab. So it's like my anniversary of after the operation. I had a heart surgery. And I had some lung difficulty. I think my lungs got infected. Well, it's difficult to breathe after a bypass surgery. But then I got a lung infection, which just prolonged it. And it was really hard. I couldn't chant a mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That was like it. It was all the breath I had. What to speak of having no energy. So I didn't chant for a while. I just thought, if I try to chant, it'll take 8 hours to like chant 3 rounds or something. Really. It took me 40 minutes to chant Gayatri the day after the operation, because I had no energy in my mind to even control it. So I didn't chant for a while. And then I was looking at my phone. I have my score of rounds to make up. I'm at like 100 and I don't know where I'm at now. 120 or 5 or something. I have more to make up. But anyway, when I started chanting, because I hadn't chanted for a while, and it was the first time in my life I ever didn't chant. Well, once or twice I missed 16, but I made it up the next day. So we could basically say I've never missed in my life. This was the first time, and it was like weeks. So when I began chanting, I was chanting really bad rounds. I was doing everything that I'm telling you not to do. I was like classic bad japa. And I'm like, here I am, Japa man himself, Japa man incarnate, and I'm doing all this bad japa. But I was so out of practice, and it was hard. It was hard. I didn't have a lot of energy. If I could get through one mantra in one breath, I'd be like, yes, amazing. You know? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare, like that. And I was ecstatic chanting bad rounds. So I have to explain, how did that happen? This is amazing. You know how it happened? Because it was so long I went without chanting, and then the first time in my life I ever did that, I was just so happy that I could chant, even if they were bad. And so what it was showing me the power of appreciation, because actually I was chanting and I was relishing bad japa. And I made a video. I don't know if it's out yet. I made a video called Relishing Bad Japa, because I was so appreciative that I had the holy name, that even though I wasn't chanting well, it was sweet. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So, appreciation. Krishna, you've given me this gift. It's Kali Yuga. By your mercy, in this lifetime, I, who am not qualified, who do not have the strength to elevate myself to the stage of bhava, by your mercy, you've given me the holy name and I can do that. Wow. Thank you. So, this is what I recommend. Tomorrow morning, I would like you to meditate on how fortunate you are to have the holy name. There's a lot of people in this city. How many? 6 million? Anybody know? Only 2.5? No, there has to be more than 2.5, because when I came back on the freeway, the 2.5 million were on the freeway. Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah. 2.5 are on the freeway at all times, and the others are walking around somewhere. Yeah. So we'll just say 5 million. It sounds good. There's 5 million people in this city. And there's, I don't know how many of you are here, 50? 50 of you are here. Turn to the person next to you and tell them, you are the most fortunate person in Toronto. You have the holy name. So this is what I recommend. Before you chant, what is so important is to start out with a high level of appreciation and a high level of prayer consciousness and proper mood. So to create that mood, I recommend always begin by saying, thank you, Krishna. You can add to the thank you, you can give details, but you know what you mean when you say thank you. Thank you, Krishna, for giving me the holy name. And thank you for allowing me to chant and not kicking me away. That starts appreciation. It's so beautiful. Appreciation is so powerful. Because all that distractive chanting, what is it? No appreciation. Isn't it true that when you're not appreciating, you'd rather be doing something else. You don't want to be chanting. It's getting in the way of more important things, like TikTok and Instagram. Right? Yes? 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 Raise your hand if you're still here. Yes? Okay, I was worried. I thought we lost a few of you. Yeah. Yes. So here's an interesting fact. Some of you may know this. I learned this from my wife. She's a marriage counselor. And she said, she learned this, that how a conversation starts is how it ends. If it starts bad, it ends bad. If it starts good, it ends good. Isn't that interesting? Starts going up, it keeps going. You stupid idiot, I can't believe you did that. What is wrong with you? Oh my God, can't you get your act together? How's that conversation going to end? Pots and pans flying over the house, right? Honey, you're amazing. You are fantastic. You're the life of my life. I just wanted to talk about one thing. Maybe, we could talk about it. What do you think? Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you so much. But is it possible you could do this? Where's that conversation going? It's going up. Yes. So, here's your choice tomorrow morning. You have two choices. Choice number one, you put your hand in your bead bag. Choice number one is, ugh. Out loud or subtly or in some way, it's or you have choice number two, thank you, Krishna, for giving me the holy name. I am the most fortunate person. I am so grateful. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. Thank you for personally coming to me in your holy name. Thank you for sitting with me. Thank you for allowing me to ask you for help. Thank you for allowing me to pray. That's how it has to start. And if it starts that way, it's going to be good. And I can't guarantee you it's going to stay that way, but if it goes bzzz, it comes down, just stop and start it again. So that was a mouthful. And do you want to take a break now, or do we go till 9? Just like, you need to stand up? Yeah. So why don't you stand up? Buy all my books while you're standing up. I have 2 Japa affirmation books, and yeah. At least you should get these 2. I wrote number 2 10 years after I wrote number 1. I didn't know there would be a number 2. Number 2 is, like, number 1 is really good, but I think number 2 is off the charts. It's hard to say that and be humble, right? But I'm just trying to be honest. Yeah, we have a book on self-care, we have a book on marriage, and we have 2 books on living the wisdom of bhakti. Of course, they'll be here all weekend. So let's meet back at, we can take a break for 12 minutes and we'll meet back at 8 o'clock. Yeah, we'll continue at 8 o'clock. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasinghaya. Prahlad Lad Daine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilatankana Kalae. Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha. यतो यतो यामि ततो नृसिंहा बाहे नृसिंहा हृदये नृसिंहा बाहे नृसिंहा हृदये नृसिंहा नरसिंहा मदिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहा मदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुत शृङ्गार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयंरूपकदामयं ददति शापदन्तिकम् पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. I have good news for you. We're only 30 minutes away from prasadam. course, if you don't want to eat, you can just stay here and chant. Okay, so everyone please come back. I have important information that is going to make your morning tomorrow special. The reason I can tell you so many things is because I've done everything wrong. So I've made all the mistakes. I know what they are. And I've tried to correct them all. So you're getting first-hand experience. So we had mentioned that tomorrow morning we want to have a fantastic morning with Japa. So we told you some things you can do before you start. You remember how you start? Is how it ends. Up or down, right? And you remember I think maybe a way to frame this is, sometimes I use these terms, a meditator's consciousness. There's a certain consciousness for meditation. You know, like there's certain consciousness you have to be in to study. And there's a certain consciousness you have to be in to spend time with your family. There's a certain consciousness you have to be in to work, right? And the problem for many of us with Japa is we just chant and we don't alter our consciousness. We just go in the same consciousness that we live our lives, and we try to chant and then we complain, oh, my mind is wandering. Of course it's wandering, because you didn't do anything. You didn't make a shift. So I have a little theory. You want to hear it? You have a red button in your mind. And the red button is to turn it off, and you have a green button to turn it on. And most of the time the green button is on because you need the mind to be on to function. And so you go into your japa with the green button down, and your mind's going because that's what the mind has to do to be able to function in this world. Right? We have so many things to do, and the mind is very active. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, think of this, think of that. That's how we function. If you don't adjust that before you chant, you're going to say, I cannot control my mind while I chant. And we've all said that. And we say it all the time. It's because the green button is on and the mind is active. And then you try to control your mind when you're chanting. Instead of praying, you spend your whole time trying to control your mind. And then when you finish chanting, you're exhausted because you spent 2 hours or whatever your time was battling your mind. And that's why the next day when you put your hands in your bead bag, you go, oh no, another battle with the mind. Does that sound familiar? I have a better idea. What about this brilliant idea of mine? Just turn your mind off. Does that sound too simple? Yeah. You turn your mind off so you can go into the meditator's mode. That state of consciousness. When you do that, if you can do this, you do not have to control your mind, because your mind will not be out of control. That's good news, isn't it? Don't you think? Wouldn't that be nice? No battle with your mind. So now you're asking, where is the red button and how do I press it? Would you like to find where the red button is? Yeah. Okay. If Krishna came to your house and said, let's talk, would you hit the red button? If someone called you up and said, come over tonight, I have a plan, I think we can make $1 million in 24 hours, would you hit the red button? Of course. Would you know how to hit it? Of course. If you're a surgeon and you're going in for surgery, do you have a red button? Of course. When do you hit it? When you walk in. If you're a doctor, you hit the red button. You go to your work, you hit the red button. Right? We always do it. Even when you watch a movie, you hit the red button. Nothing else, just the movie. Just me and the movie. The world is dead. So you already know how to hit the red button. This is how I do it. Rabindra Swarup Prabhu said, you should offer Krishna the courtesy of your attention when you're chanting. This is a beautiful phrase. Offer Krishna the courtesy of your attention. If your red button is not pressed in, you are not offering Krishna the courtesy of your attention, because your mind will naturally be distracted. You know how when you chant and you are thinking of so many things, you are not actually there with the holy name. You are somewhere else, and the holy name is coming out of your mouth. As I often like to say, Krishna's in his name, but where are you? Krishna's there when you're chanting, but where are you? What are you doing? Right? Yes? Raise your hand if you're still here. Yes? Yes? Getting tired? Hungry? Yeah. So, I sit down to chant. If I'm going to give the Krishna the courtesy of my attention, I have to find the red button and say, off, now I am chanting. This is what I'm doing. I do not have a life. I do not have anything. I have to create a space. That space is only for japa. There's nothing else allowed in that space. That's giving Krishna the courtesy of your attention. So that's why we get up early, because early in the morning you can do that, because you have nothing, you don't have to do anything. Of course, you look at your phone at 5 a.m., you don't have to. Unless that's for your job. Most of us don't have to, but we do it because we're addicted to it. So, there's no need for your phone when you chant japa. There's no need for anything. There's just a need for you and the holy name. So, we try to create a space internally where we remind ourselves, this is just the time I chant, and during this time, we don't do anything else. We resist the temptation, because I have to give Krishna the courtesy of my attention. And I do that by flicking that off. And you'll be surprised when you flick it off and you're chanting away. Why is my mind not going everywhere? Because I didn't give it permission. And that's the answer to why it's going everywhere, because you gave it permission. That's the only reason. Well, not the only reason, but the main reason. You gave it permission. So tomorrow when you chant, you want to try to create this space. This is the time for chanting. Everything I'm telling you are just habits. That if you adopt these habits, you'll start, this is just how you'll chant. You will not, like I said, you will find it difficult to chant bad rounds. One devotee was saying to me, yeah, I come to these japa retreats and workshops, but it's good for a while, then it goes down. We're trying to embed within us habits that go so deep, it really becomes difficult to chant poorly, because you know you're not chanting properly. You know you're spaced out. You know you're making the 10th offense. Total distraction, apathy, lethargy. You know you're doing that. And you're thinking, what's the point of doing this? It's just a broken mridanga. Why play a broken mridanga? Doesn't make sense. It's a counterfeit dollar. I can't spend it. So, this is where it all starts. It's, okay, now we're going to chant. This is what I do, nothing else. So here's how I like to visualize it, and see if this works for you. So maybe I have to get ready for work at whenever, we'll say 7:30. So, which means by 7:30 I have to start getting dressed and preparing whatever I have to prepare. So why not think before 7:30? The day hasn't started yet. So tomorrow is Saturday. Well, it's easy to do on Saturday, but still we'll use Saturday as an example. Tomorrow's Saturday. You get up and you just say, Saturday doesn't exist till breakfast, because you're not going to work tomorrow. So I'm not in Saturday. I don't have to think about Saturday. I don't have to think, what am I going to eat for breakfast? What time am I going to leave? All that. What am I going to wear? All that. I don't have to think about it till this time. There's a cutoff time. That gives me enough time to get ready, get dressed, make breakfast, and get here on time. So before that, there's no Saturday. It's just me and Krishna and japa. If you can do that, you'll find, you're going to be amazed. If you can do that, you're like, you'll be thinking, this is amazing. It's so easy to hear now. Because I turned my day off, I turned my mind off. There's no interference. Yes? Yes! Yeah. And so please try that. The other thing which I didn't emphasize enough is prayer. So when we are chanting in that distracted way, there's no emotion in our chanting. We say, Prabhu, you're just supposed to chant in here. That's not the whole thing. That's part of it. But if you just chant in here, it can become very mechanical. You're supposed to chant in here. Yes, chant Krishna's name here. Be present and pray. What do you want? What are you trying to achieve? What do you want to ask Krishna? Why are you chanting? What does the mantra mean? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, if you chant and you're not connected with what it means, it's not proper chanting. What does it mean? Krishna, I want to love you. I want to serve you. I want to be a pure devotee. I want to overcome so many things. Please help me. That's what it means. That's real chanting. And you will notice when you put that emotion into your chanting, your mind doesn't zip, 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 zip. So when you stop the emotion is when your mind, the green switch gets pushed in. And your mind's you will notice that whenever your mind starts wandering, you have lost connection with the mood of prayer, with the emotion of prayer. It's gone. When that emotion of prayer arises, the mind just naturally calms down. Have any of you noticed that before? When you go totally in your mind, you've lost connection with prayer. When you get into prayer, your mind. So you want to create a space to shut your mind down, but when you go into emotion, it'll stay down. And if you lose it, and the button comes out, just stop and say, thank you, Krishna, for the holy name. And get back into it. And you'll have an amazing time tomorrow. Guaranteed, or your money back. And some of you got the Japa affirmations book, so that you can use as you like. You can use one affirmation for all your rounds. You can use one affirmation for each round. You can choose 3 affirmations that resonate with you. They're really deep and beautiful because those affirmations help you connect with the emotion of chanting, the state that you should be in for optimal chanting. So they're very, very helpful. So, tomorrow morning is going to be amazing. Turn to the person next to you and tell them, tomorrow morning is going to be amazing. Something else I need to say. I probably said it, but I need to emphasize it. Everyone who's here today in this retreat, if you've never chanted 64, if you've never chanted 16 rounds, I would ask you this weekend to chant 16 rounds. This is a weekend for Japa. I would ask you, when you go home tonight, don't distract yourself with anything that is not going to be supportive to your Japa. And the same thing tomorrow night. This weekend should just be focused on Japa. Don't stay up till midnight talking. You want to get to bed early. If you've never chanted 16, if you just get up in time, we don't start till 10. It only takes 2.5 hours. You certainly can do it. Just turn your life off. And you'll do it. A lot of devotees chant 32, 64. 16 is not that much. If you've never done it, it seems like a lot. But think about it. You have 24 hours. 16 is only 2. That's 1/12. That means you took 22 hours for yourself and you gave 2 back to Krishna. That's not a lot. And as you progress in devotional service, you'll find that 16 is just appetizer. But of course, okay, here's another thing which is important because this question always comes up. How do I increase my rounds? And the answer is so simple. Prabhupada said, the cook should be so good that even if you're not hungry, you'll eat. And he said, and if a cook is bad, even if you're hungry, you won't eat. Right? So, I just came out with a video And it's the title of the video is, Does Your Japa Taste Like Boiled Potatoes? So what does that mean? Like, what are you spicing your japa with? Something like, I don't want to do it? Is that the spice you're putting in your japa? Or are you putting in, oh Krishna, I want to serve you, I want to love you. Krishna, please help me. Like, what are you putting in your japa? Right? So, ladies, you all know, I guess husbands, you know, if you want your kids to eat something they don't like, you better know how to make it taste good, because otherwise they're not going to eat it. And you know they have their favorite food, which is probably really bad for them, and they could eat that 24/7 for the rest of their life. So, if we focus on chanting properly, then what's going to happen? We're going to like it. We're going to experience more of Krishna. And if you like something, what do? You do it more. So I'm not an advocate of force yourself to chant more. I'm an advocate of force yourself to taste more. If you're going to force yourself to do anything, force yourself to chant properly. You don't have to force the number. The number's a byproduct. Because if it tastes good, you'll eat more. And I'm sure you've all had experience sometimes, by Krishna's mercy, you're just chanting, you feel like, yeah, I could just probably chant all day now. This is so sweet. And sometimes you're chanting and think, this is so difficult, I want to stop. So, and then you want to force yourself to chant more. It's not good. It's a very negative experience. So you want to create a positive connotation with the holy name. And if you chant properly, quality produces quantity. It should be obvious, right? And it becomes easier. And so make your life easy. You have to chant every day. Make it easy. Make it easy on yourself. So I hope all of this will help. And now if you have any questions for clarity on anything I said, or if you would like to share with us something you remember that stood out for you, or something you want to do tomorrow, just to remind us, we can do that. We have 12 minutes left, right? Yes.
Just what you mentioned about that this is the weekend for Japa. I was just wondering, what mindset should we have when we are winding up our day? I mean, there's a lot going on, even at least in my life, when I'm winding up my day. And at the same time, what can I do so that it's favorable for my japa?
Yeah, okay. Well, let's take it to a broader level. If you want to chant japa, which is much different from a life without it, it takes time. And if you want to get initiated and chant 16 rounds, that's 2 hours. That's a lot of time, isn't it? You have to find that 2 hours. So that in itself is a different mindset. Like if I want to chant good japa, some things in my life have to shift a little bit. I can't just chant japa while I watch TV, read the newspaper. And I can't just stay up late doing a million things. One of the secrets to success is elimination. Because when you have too many things, you will minimize what's important to do what's not important. So if japa is the most important. Okay, let's just make it stated this way. Japa is the most important activity of our day because you can make more advancement while you chant japa than anything else. And listen to this. This is going to blow your mind. When you're leaving your body, what are you going to have? The closest thing to you. It's the holy name. Meditate on this. I chant 2 hours a day, right? I don't do anything in Krishna consciousness 365 days a year, 2 hours a day. I don't read 2 hours a day, 365. I don't do deity worship 2 hours a day. I don't have any direct connection with Krishna for 2 hours a day, every day, other than the holy name. If you can create that deep connection by giving space in your life for that priority of your life, what do you think is going to happen when you leave your body? You'll have such a deep connection with Krishna, It'll be like easy. Just Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I've had this relationship with the holy name my whole life. I never missed a day. I'm so close to it. And how could I do that? Because I made space in my life. I had to eliminate certain things. I made time. And why did I make space and time? Because I gave it priority. And when I minimize my japa, what am I doing? I'm putting it on the back burner. I'll do it later. Right? Finish it later. It's less important. What's more important? Emails are more important. Stop chanting and answer an email. Okay, Krishna, I'm telling you by my action that more important than your name and our relationship is my email. So if you want to chant good japa, if you want to do everything we talked about tonight, you have to make priority for it. And like someone was telling me, yeah, japa workshops are great, but it goes down after a few weeks. Not if you make priority for it. Not if you turn off the red button. Not if you do these things. And you won't turn off the red button and you won't do anything I said tonight if you don't make priority for it, right? It has to be important. Because what's ever important gets done. When was the last time you missed eating? It's important. We don't miss. When was the last time you missed your rounds? Less important. We miss. Right? Yeah. So, when we first did the japa, a lot of us God brothers, when we first did the japa retreat, one of the main realizations we took was there's so many things in our life that we didn't notice that affect our japa. What I'm reading, what I'm seeing, what I'm speaking, what I'm looking at, what I'm eating. You just go down the list. Because we wanted to improve our japa, so we started seeing this connection between our life and like why, like one devotee was saying, that, yeah, one day I just can't chant. What did you do the day before? What's going on in you? What's disturbing you? What did you eat last night? What did you watch? You know? Who did you criticize before you went to sleep? You know, all these things affect us. So we were becoming like almost OCD about our lives because we were seeing there's so many things we do that affect our japa, but we weren't that conscious to improve our japa. And when we became conscious to improve our japa, we started noticing these things. Oh yeah, if I make this decision tonight, then I'm going to be up another hour and a half. And that means I'm going to get up an hour and a half later, and that's a hard time to chant. You know, even if I don't take care of my health, I'll get sick, or I'll be weak, or whatever. I don't get enough rest. So it's a reality. It's an obvious reality, I think, if you're initiated, to make 2 hours for good quality japa. It's a bit of an effort. You really have to be focused. Otherwise, time just goes by. I'll chant later. I should write a song. It'll be called "When Later Never Comes." Put down my bead bag at 7 in the morning. Told myself I'll chant later. Got some emails to answer. Got to eat a little something. I'll get back to my japa later. And then the chorus is, but later never comes. Later never comes. And as my daughter said, don't trust your future self. Just do it now. Yeah. So these are the kinds of things that when you live in an ashram, you don't have to do. I grew up as a devotee in an ashram. We didn't have japa class. I didn't have to think about this. There was no distraction. There was nothing else to do. You just chant. Mangalarti, you can chant. Easy. Of course, you got your own mind to get distracted. You can think about your service. You can think about so many things. But when you're at home, yeah, you can do anything you want at home, right? So it's like I said, kirtan is easy. Japa is an effort. If you want to get japa up there, it's an effort. It's not going to happen. And when you say, my japa was good after the workshop and went down, you just stop making the effort. That's all that happened. But what I'm trying to do is see if I can like smash these habits inside you so deeply that it's going to be hard to get rid of them. I'll try to super glue them in your heart. And so it's like, you're like, when you chant bad japa, you're just like, I can't do this. And you just stop. I'll chant later, but I can't chant bad japa. Or you catch yourself. Like, let's go refocus. Let's get in the heart. Let's get in the mood. Thank you, Krishna. This is prayer. I'm worshiping you in your name. And get back into it. And if you get that really deep, then it'll be my great satisfaction to get an email from you next year and say, Dear Prabhuji, I had a really hard time this year chanting Bhat Japa. I couldn't really do it. And I'll be so happy now. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. All right. We have 4 more minutes. We either have 4 more minutes or when prasadam's ready. Whatever comes first. Yes.
Thank you for such an amazing class. The point that I am going to carry with me home today is how a conversation starts is usually how the conversation ends. If I may quickly ask, how do we balance quality with quantity? And I'm sorry if you've already answered that.
Well, what Prabhupada taught us is that when you begin chanting, you should take a vow to chant a certain number of rounds, because it's like your commitment to Krishna. And you shouldn't take a vow to chant more, but you should take a vow to chant what you can do. And then, naturally, by quality, the desire will be there to chant more. And he asked us to get up to 16 minimum if we want to be initiated and want to go back to Godhead. We want to be Krishna conscious, basically. So, I think to not do our best to be able to get a taste for japa is basically self-torture. Because if you've made a vow, you have to do it anyway. Yeah. It's like, you have a vow to be married. You might as well figure out how to get along. Otherwise, it's like you're both in hell. Right? Yeah. Just do what you can to chant well. Everything will come from that. And you can have such amazing experiences when you chant japa. You could have horrible experiences because you're not actually chanting. It's just a resemblance of the name. And so why do you want to do that to yourself? This is like the greatest gift you can give yourself is to chant well, because you'll make so much advancement. You'll have so much happiness and bliss and satisfaction and spiritual power, and you'll just become so much better. So it's a real act of self-love. If you want to love yourself, love your japa. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I really like the point where you mentioned that usually we hear that when we want to do good japa, you should hear what you're chanting. But then you mentioned that chant, hear, and pray at the same time. So I really like that point. And when you mentioned that keep the meaning of the mantra in your heart. So I was reflecting on the japa affirmation where it was like, understand the meanings of the names as I chant.
Yeah.
So my question is that, so you make the prayer before starting the japa and then chant and hear, or you want us to do it at the same time, the prayer and the hearing?
It's not exactly like that. Because what is in your heart is in your heart. And you want to bring that out while you chant. And if it's in your head, it's not going to work. Like, what do you want? Like, I'll give you an example. I taught a course on self-care, and part of that course was about how Krishna loves you. And I had to go very deep into that topic. I had to go very deep into the topic about Krishna loves you and research it. And when you go deep in the topic, it's amazing how much Krishna loves us, how much affection he has. And you go very deeply, you can feel it. So I started feeling it deeply, and at that point I felt like, oh, Krishna loves me and I don't love him. Problem. This is a really bad relationship we have. And the bad relationship is my fault, not him. He gave Putana a position in the spiritual world, and he said, you will be eternally blessed more and more, forever. It's like, wow, that's Krishna. And I just read this morning that Krishna will bless you for service you're going to do in the future you haven't even done yet. And if you go down the list, you'll see how many ways he loves you. And so that was so real for me that, like, I didn't have to, like, how am I going to chant this way, that way? It was just, that's how I felt. I felt like, you want me to love you, you're asking me, and I'm not, and you're giving me everything. And I feel your love so strongly, I feel so bad that I'm not loving you, so I just pray, can I love you? And that's natural for me. It's not in my head. So you don't want it in your head. You want it to be something like, what do you need? What do you want? And it should be here in your heart. You don't even have to think about it. It's just how you feel. Krishna, please. Like, what are you feeling when you chant kirtan? Krishna, help me, please. You know, praying or something, right? Pull that into the japa. What's ever real. Krishna, I'm in the material world, suffering, birth after birth, and I'm so stupid, I'm running after my mind and senses like, please, I don't want to do this, please help me. If there's something really in your way and there's an intense emotion, then if you pray, it's just natural. You don't have to, you know. Does that make sense? Or are you still confused? You don't want it in your head, you want it in your heart. But one thing I have suggested to devotees that they can do is, before you chant, don't start chanting until you feel it. Like, what is it you want to communicate from your heart? Allow yourself to feel that and then begin chanting after you feel it. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, you're not chanting with your lips, you're chanting with your heart. Which is why that just hear and chant is not complete. Because there's a consciousness with which you chant. And Krishna hears what's in your heart. So that's important. Like, so what are you're chanting, what are you communicating to Krishna? Hare Krishna. What's your communication? Whatever you're feeling is your communication. Whatever you feel, Krishna will feel. If you feel nothing, Krishna feels nothing. Then devotees say, well, I'm waiting for Krishna to reciprocate. But if you're not offering anything, there's nothing to reciprocate with. If you offer dead mantras, how can he reciprocate? You've invested nothing. There's no return on your investment because you didn't invest anything. But you invest something more, then you'll see Krishna will be reciprocating. He'll be closer. It'll be amazing, beautiful. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Yes. So you could imagine you're chanting, right, tomorrow morning you're chanting. And I imagine I come up to you and say, what is Krishna feeling from you right now? And it might be nothing, or it might be something deep. And you know what Krishna's feeling because you're feeling it, right? Even on the human level, you can feel what I'm feeling. If I don't like you, you can feel it. I could say, tell me, Auntie, you're amazing. But if I don't like you, it's not going to translate. You're going to feel what's in my heart. So, Krishna feels what's behind, what is your mood in chanting. I need help. Help me, pick me up. I'm drowning in the ocean of material existence. I want to serve you, and I'm serving everything but you. Please help me. Help me be your servant eternally. Help me become humble. Smash. If you want to get brave, smash my false ego. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. If you want to get really brave, oh Krishna, whatever I need, give me. Whatever's bad for me, take it away. I was once in Mayapur and I said, I'm going to stop fighting Krishna, I'm just going to surrender. So I started chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, whatever you want. 5 minutes later, one GBC member said, we need you to go to such and such a place. I was going, that was fast. That was really like 5-10 minutes max. He said, we need you to fly to this country, they're having a problem. So, it can be anything, but it should be what is dear to you and most normal for you, not like artificial. I think all of us want to get out of material entanglement. That's pretty close to our heart. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Such an amazing kickoff of the workshop this whole weekend. I do just have a comment of the point that you made about appreciating the holy name. I think so many times that we appreciate devotees doing so many great services and positions that they may have and the accolades that they have accomplished. But so many times it's actually appreciating that Krishna has come to us in the holy name. And I know personally for me, it's like when I really take very serious japa time about having this mood about, as my Guru Maharaj says, making those investments. It's like a bank account, right? Nothing like a bingo card, but just saying like, I'm investing in myself. I'm investing in my relationship with Krishna so I can be a better servant to others, right? So my question to you is that like, is there a time that, should we just write almost a journal, keep a journal, like a japa journal, about just kind of our realizations that we're having through our japa, and then we can kind of, because I know in your first book that I love so much.
Can you get me one of each of those books? I want to show you something. I think it's a distraction. I think it's okay to write it after, but during, it's a distraction. No, the japa book, both japa books. I don't know if you can see in the back, but look at both of these books. Look how absorbed Prabhupada is when he's chanting. Can you see? Or some of you have the book. Like sometimes I don't even open the book. I just look at the cover and I go, oh, that's how I'm supposed to chant. Prabhupada he's not on the external plane. You can see that, right? He's meditating on Krishna. So that's the problem with writing while you're chanting, because then it's like you give your mind permission to go off, and it's better to write those realizations after. And I have a ton of realizations. I've never written any down. They just come when they're needed. So, you would think I must have wrote all these down when I was chanting. I didn't. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea, because it's already giving your mind permission to get distracted. It's a good distraction, but it's still a distraction. It's like if you're talking to me about japa, and I'm writing down my realizations while you're talking to me, it's kind of disconcerting, isn't it? So that's my opinion, and that's the opinion of many devotees. Our opinion used to be, well, if your mind is off, just write it down so you don't have to think about it. But that just gives your mind permission to go off. After is good. After is excellent. Yeah, why not? You'll need those realizations in the future when you're in the valley. Yeah. Anyway. Yes. Why not? You can all write your realizations. We'll make a book. Toronto Workshop Realizations 2025. We'll publish and distribute to all the devotees in Toronto. Okay, so I think it's time for prasadam. Is that correct? So.
Hare Krishna. So thank you, devotees, and let's put a round of applause for Mahatma Prabhu for such a wonderful day one workshop. So I think we've got our work cut out for tomorrow morning japa, and we've got the fuel to take it there. So that wraps up day one of the workshop. Prasadam is ready at the back, and it will be takeout prasadam. And the request is, devotees, please take that out of the temple, because the temple hall will be closed. You can honor it outside, and please dispose of the containers responsibly. And we look forward to welcoming everyone at tomorrow 10 o'clock.
I have a mantra for you.
Yes, please.
If you arrive on time, you're late. You should come early. Of course, everywhere around the world I say come early. There's always people who come late. But you're going to do some exercises when you come tomorrow. We'll start doing more interaction. So if you come late, you don't know what we're doing. what are we doing? Everybody's talking, and then someone has to tell you and find a partner and like that. Okay, so I hope you know what time 10 is. Does anybody have trouble telling what time 10 is? Yeah, 10 is 10:30. Okay, so if 10 is 10:30, oh, 10 is 9:30. Yeah. Well, I was thinking you mean 9:30 is 10 for you. Yeah. Well, 10 to 10 is good. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can come here tomorrow at 4:30, no problem. Just chant till then. We'll see you tomorrow at 4:30 if you'd like to come. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Also, just an announcement, Mahatma Prabhu is also giving the Srimad Bhagavatam class tomorrow, so if you do want to come, please do come early and attend that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.